Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of this awesome, super amazing Osu Let's Play series. In the last episode, I showed you guys the nearby filter and told a bit of a story on how I met my first Osu friend and got into some of my first Osu tournaments. And in this episode, I want to show you guys the editor and specifically how you can use the editor to break down patterns and dissect rhythms and figure out how to play certain parts of maps. Let's say there's this pesky map or section of a map that you, for the life of you, cannot figure out how to read. I will show you guys how to use the editor to break down patterns like those, or maps like those, so that you can understand how to play them. Real quick though, I want to give a shout out, especially if you guys have been following this series for some time, which first of all, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And if you want to see more of me or watch me play this game live, I stream every single day at twitch.tv/digitalhypno. That will be linked in the description, but if you want to hang out with me or ask me a question or something like that, you can check me out over there. Like I said, I stream every single day. So yeah, and bonus points, if you guys tell me that you came from the Osu Let's Play series, I will be very, very happy to see you there. So yeah, without any further ado. So there are two ways to get to the editor. First way is through the main menu, click the edit button or press E on your keyboard, and this takes you to the alternate dimension song list, where instead of if you try to play a map, it will instead take you to the editor. So that is the first way. Second way is usually what I do is in the normal Osu song list, you right click the map and press the 5 button here to enter edit mode. So obviously very quickly, you can just right click and press 5 almost immediately to enter the edit mode. Be careful though not to press 5 too quickly, because if you do that, then it will just type the number 5 in the search bar. So be careful not to do that, add a bit of a delay, and that will take you straight to the editor. So I will try to break this down. It probably seems very scary, especially if you're very new to the editor, but I will try to explain things as best I can, and we will probably be revisiting the editor in some future episodes as well. So don't feel like you need to learn everything, but yeah, if it feels overwhelming, I will just try to break things down as best I can. So at the bottom here, you have your scrub bar timeline. You can scroll through the entire map. The middle, obviously, this is your playfield. Let me jump to where there are some notes. You have your playfield here, and then at the top here, you have your object timeline where you can see the timing of each map. And this is going to be especially helpful. This is what I'm going to try to break down so you can use the object timeline to really understand patterns. But a bit of terminology, and you will probably hear this terminology in other Osu-related conversations as well. So you see these lines here, these white, red, and blue lines. So you'll probably hear terms called 1-2, 1-4, maybe like 1-3, 1-6, things like that, 1-8 maybe. What that means is, so every white line is a beat basically, and so you can see there's 4 lines between each beat, or including the first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what 1-2 rhythm means is that there are two of those slots between each beat is used. So here, okay, we can't really see. Okay, yeah. Here, for example, is easier to see. You see this white line and then this red line as well. So within the beat, there are 2 notes there. So that is what 1-2 rhythm means. So there's 2 of them there in one beat. So 1-4 rhythm, for example, would be okay. I guess I'll first mention that 1-2 rhythm is usually single taps. So I will play this little section for you here. This is all 1-2 rhythm. So if I press the spacebar to play, I will let you listen to this. Okay, probably not the best demo, but hopefully you get the idea. These are all single taps. So that is that. You can see here. So when all 4 of those little lines are used up, that is called 1-4 rhythm. So say there's a stream or something like that. Usually, yeah, streams are 1-4 rhythm. So it's basically twice the speed of single taps. So that is that. And if you ever hear 1-3 rhythm or 1-6 rhythm, that basically means instead of 2 notes or 4 notes there between each beat, there are only 3. So there's an example actually right here. So if I hold Alt and scroll with my mouse over the object timeline, you can zoom in and out. You can also use these buttons on the left here, these plus and minus buttons, but yeah, obviously scrolling is a bit faster. Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. I guess since I just accidentally did that. So to change the volume, you hold down Alt and scroll, but your cursor cannot be in this playfield area here, because otherwise that changes this, what's called distance snapping. So Alt and scroll, but keep your cursor somewhere outside of the playfield. And that is how you change the volume in the editor. So yeah, that is that. But anyway, 1-3 rhythm. So that is this right here. You can see there's a white line here, and then the next white line is actually here. So you have 3 notes here. And if I play what this sounds like, oh, it's quiet, hold on. Yeah, hopefully you guys get the idea. So this is what would be called a 1-3 stream, or 1-3 pattern, I guess. A 1-3 rhythm. So you'll hear phrases like that thrown around in OSU terminology universe discussion. So that is what that means, and that is how you can check what type of rhythm it is. You just count how many objects are within one beat or between white lines, and that is how you figure that out. So anyway, oh, also, okay, you can also, this bar here is another way to mention. So this is probably a more clear way. You can just scroll this bar and it will tell you. So for example, I set the beat snap divisor to 1-2. If I zoom in, you can see that all the lines here are, well, there's only 2 lines per beat. And so if they're all used up, then that means it is 1-2 rhythm as well. So yeah, that is that. But I guess in basic, I don't know, this is basic overview of the editor and using the object timeline to figure out the rhythm. So yeah, so let's scroll to some random part of the map. Actually, not random. I'm going to pick a certain part. So there are very funky rhythms in this map, especially I think in the middle. So I will, okay, first I'm just going to play this bit of the map, and then I can show you guys how to use the object timeline to figure out how to read it. Actually, okay, I'm gonna play it in testing mode. So if I click the test button down here in the bottom right corner, and click the test button to basically, so it starts you right where you were, and it starts the map. And if you retry it, it'll start from there as well. There's some hotkeys on the left here. You can pause the video and read them. But I will press tab to play autoplay, and I'll let you guys listen to this part of the map. So. Okay, how is that? This section is really tricky, and I could not sight read this for my life. I had to look in the editor. And what that means is I went to this section of the map in the editor, and I looked at the object timeline here. And I just kept pausing and playing and trying to listen to the rhythm. But more importantly, you can see here, so this, for example, so this is 4 notes of 1-2 rhythm. You can see it's on the white lines and red lines. You see this? Okay, so this big blue line doesn't really mean much. It is just a bookmark that the beatmap creator / mapper, as they're more commonly called mappers, is called a bookmark, and they just put it there to serve as a reference point for some part of the song. But that's what that big big blue line is. But yeah, so this effectively is a white line, and then this is also a white line. So yeah, so there's 4 notes of 1-2 rhythm there, and then this note is on a blue tick, so there's a bit of an awkward timing gap there. And then another 2 notes of 1-2 rhythm. And you can basically use the timeline up here to count / analyze the specific timing of the objects. This is really, really useful, especially on what's called perfect stacks here. So for example, these 2, oh god, is there another example? Okay, so the first 2 notes are also perfectly stacked. Okay, so basically it just means that like it's not offset by anything. So if I undo that, you can see that it should be pretty self-explanatory. They are perfectly stacked on top of each other. It can be very tricky sometimes to read the rhythm on that, especially with hidden. So if you're really struggling to read a rhythm, then definitely come to the editor and check that out. But I can scroll through the rest of the map here, or the rest of this section, and yeah, you can use your scroll wheel, or I think if you hold shift and use your scroll wheel, then it goes a little faster. So that is there for you. You can also use the arrow keys, but that is, I think, probably the slowest caveman way to do it. But if you really want to use the keyboard, then you can use the arrow keys. So yeah, let's watch this whole section in the editor now and try to watch the rhythm. wait, what's it called? Object timeline. Try to watch the object timeline while playing this. And okay, also you can change. Oh my god, my brain again, all over the place. Okay, you can change the playback rate in the bottom right corner. You have 4 options here: 25%, all the way up to 100%. Let's actually play it at half speed and just try to understand or like internalize the rhythm here. So I'm gonna play this again. Okay, actually, okay, I'm gonna stop there because I want to point something out, that this rhythm, despite being very complicated, is actually very repetitive. So try to sort of or like visualize or like, I don't know, keep this rhythm that's here in the object timeline sort of internalized. And I'm going to scroll forward. Wait, actually, okay, this whole thing, I'm going to scroll forward a little bit and notice that it is almost like I'm at the same part of the map again. So you have this little, same like four notes, and then this awkward timing thing that I mentioned earlier, and then this is 4 notes and 3 notes. If I go back, this is also 4 notes and 3 notes over here, and then just a bunch of single taps over there as well, and then it actually repeats the same exact rhythm. This is your first I guess, exposure to, at least in this series, to the fact that music is very, very repetitive, and oftentimes the rhythm of a map will repeat itself. So, especially in very complicated rhythms or sections like these, in fact, if you learn the first whole phrase, it's called actually. So if you learn this first phrase of the section of this bit that sort of repeats again, then you've actually learned the next rhythm again. So you have this 4, 1, 2, and then 4, 3, and then a bunch of single taps, right? And then again, so this is the 3rd time that it's repeating. So 4, 1, 2, and then 4. Oh crap! I just moved it. Undo. Control Z. And then 4, 3, and then a bunch of single taps. So it repeated 3 times, and then there's this little funky, complicated slider rhythm as well. So you can zoom in. Yeah, I think zooming in very, very far, especially with like weird, like what is going on here, right? So zooming in a lot can sometimes help to see exactly when you're supposed to be tapping. If I press play here, it is at half speed still, but yeah, so hopefully I think you guys get the idea. So for these patterns in particular, note that like you only have to tap on the like where the numbers are. Let me change the beat snap divisor to, okay, so you can see that this, okay, so 1/3, yeah. So this 2 here lands on a 1/3 interval, basically. Although, to be honest, okay, so this is a bit of an aside, but in score v1, since sliders don't have an accuracy component, then it doesn't really matter if you have the timing perfectly accurate, but basically, yeah, you only need to tap. So like this, there's technically like a 3rd circle here, but you're not actually tapping on that. That's just the slider end. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're trying to analyze the rhythms. What is very helpful sometimes. So okay, this is not something I expected to do in this episode, but I want to show you guys. If you click the circle button on the left here, or a faster way to do that is press the 2 button. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you press those 4 buttons, it will toggle through these options on the left. Press the 2 button, and I can put my mouse over this object and just click to replace it. And let's say there's this super complicated rhythm, and I'm just trying to understand. Oh, what? Oops. Trying to wait. What? Okay, 1 1 6. Okay, rhythm is very funky here. But if I'm just trying to understand when I'm supposed to be tapping, oh, and you can right-click objects to delete them as well. Or if you place an object at the exact time that the other object is, then it will usually delete it. But sometimes the editor is a bit funny and likes to technically be at different times, so it doesn't delete the object when you put one down. But anyway, so now I have replaced the sliders with circles, and this helps to simplify understanding when exactly you're supposed to tap. You can go a step further. Actually, let me just play this first. So this effectively plays the same exact way as what we had before with the short sliders, but this is all you need to be doing really as far as tapping goes. And we can go a step further and even replace these sliders with circles. And if you want to, so let's say, so this slider has a new combo. As you can see in the top right corner, it says new combo. But if I replace it, then, oh no, new combo is gone. But just click on it or click on it here and press Q as the hotkey to change the new combo. So, or to give it a new combo. So yeah, that is how you do that. So yeah, let me just do this to all of them. So press Q and then Q. So this is one way you can break down very complicated slider rhythms if you're trying to figure out when you're supposed to tap. That is one way you can do that. So let's play it. Let's play it again now that we are only looking at when we're supposed to be tapping. Still kind of funky, but I think it's a lot more simple to digest. And then from there, so we can just hold down Control Z. Wait, no, I don't think you can hold down. Okay, never mind. Spam Control Z. Okay, and then now we can see what the actual map looks like. So let's play it again. So hopefully helps break down or sort of understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the actual map. Hopefully, so especially, okay, so if you guys already know how this map goes, then this demonstration probably is not going to be as effective, but to those of you who don't know this map, hopefully that was somewhat insightful. And by the last playing of the pattern that I just showed you, you understood the rhythm a bit better than the first time. So yeah, that is that very useful feature that exists in Osu, is the editor. I am going to play this map in just a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to show you guys, and we can just watch the rest of this section as well. But let me play it. Yeah, and watching the object timeline up here as well. Okay, I probably should have said that, but anyway, yeah, very complicated, but essentially, and it is probably something that I will go in more detail on in future videos, but the rhythm is very predictable, I would say, or somewhat repetitive at times. So just learn one small section and should be pretty doable. But at the very least, you can always just look at each individual note here and just internalize or memorize when you're supposed to be tapping. So, and I have definitely done this on this map. So don't be afraid to memorize if you cannot read something. I think that is bottom line here, and using the editor is a very, very cool way to do that. So okay, let's see. I'm gonna play through this map, and I'll probably, how long have I been recording? Oh god, okay, I'll play this map and then end the video. But I do want to tell a story, except here's the thing, I don't know a story to tell. Oh, okay, I know a story to tell. So I can continue basically the story that we had last time, except tablet cable is not working. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, so, okay, there we go. A couple months ago, my tablet fell off a desk, and ever since then, I don't know if it's the cable or my monitor, but like, the cable is very finicky and loose, and sometimes it just disconnects and I have to replug it, but there we go, we're good now. Okay, so I will continue the story from last episode of getting into my first tournaments. So I told you guys that a player named Half-Slashed invited me to one of my first tournaments, and we got 4th place. And then there was another player that I met on that United States Cup team that also invited me to a tournament team, and his name was Num5119, or I think he just goes by Num now, but yeah, N-U-M, and he, yeah, so he was also on the Florida team, and he was like, hey man, we're looking for some people that are Osu players, and we're gonna play in this 4-digit Osu tournament. So yeah, he was on the Florida team. He was rank 1000-ish, above 2000, I'm pretty sure. And so he invited me to this Skype group. I think it was a Skype group. And we were looking for, so he was building a team with some other friends to sign up for this tournament called TOST. I cannot remember what it stands for, but yeah, TOST2, I'm pretty sure. We signed up. It was, I think it was 4v4, 4 versus 4, so we needed 8 players, and we got some people, and okay, so actually, so this was like mid 2016, I'm pretty sure, and so we made a Skype group originally, but then one of the people there was like, hey, let's use Discord instead, and everyone was like, okay, what is Discord? Okay, actually, I had installed Discord already by then. I had heard about it from Happy Stick's livestream who is an old OC streamer and top player. So I had heard about Discord, but I never really used it. So that was also when I started using my Discord account for the first time. It's around May 2016. But okay, anyway, we made a server for our team, and we gathered some cool people and made a team and signed up for the tournament. Except the tournament, oh wait, okay, this is the part, OMG. Okay, anyway, the tournament that we signed up for, it was designed for 64 teams, and instead it only got, I think, 10 signups. And instead of doing something with the 10 teams that did sign up, the tournament ended up getting cancelled. So everyone was like, no, frick, tournament cancelled, we gotta find another one. So then we did, and it was a tournament named Z Tournament, hosted by a player named BearZyo. BearZyo, yeah, BearZyo, and that was super awesome. I think, okay, I want to say, actually, I'm pretty sure we won that tournament because I got carried by my team because they were like super experienced in the tournament community. Well, relative to me, I think they had been playing for like at least a year, most of them, in tournaments, and that was like my first or second, pretty much, tournament that I had ever played. But yeah, by some stroke of luck, I'll probably... Okay, all the tournaments that I've played in the past, I want to sort of like tell a more like in-depth story on how each of them went. But look forward to that, maybe. But that was another one of my first tournaments. And so that team I played Z Tournament with, I think we played like 3 or 4 tournaments throughout 2016. And that was definitely, I think, my home for some time. I mean, spent a lot of time with those players on that team, but like, I guess practicing for our tournaments and things like that. Oh, where did I even miss? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, definitely, I think those were the people that I spent a lot of time with. Those were, I think, definitely my first like batch of like new friends that I spent a lot of time with, playing different tournaments. They were all rank restricted because, I mean, at the time we just all were like rank 1000. So we just kept playing tournaments together, and that was a lot of fun. And I think that team sort of lasted until 2017, end of 2017-ish. At some point we started competing in some open rank tournaments as well for fun, but yeah, legacy team. If you guys recognize the name UFRJD, or Uncompressed Fury of a Raging Japanese Doge, that is the team that I'm referring to. But yeah, legacy of a team for sure. I will try my best to share more stories about that team as well in the future, because very influential. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Just wanted to show you guys the editor, show you guys this awesome map, by the way, and mapper. So dsco, it's awesome, cool mapper. I will link this map in the description as usual. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. And if you guys are watching in the future, definitely check out my channel and check out the future videos that I have made. But yeah, with that, I will see you guys next time.